plug in the right thing again, which I think is this. Maybe. Okay. I think it's that. Yes, there are kiddos distantly in the background. Yeah, for those of you who were not here, my son, Mini Arv, had a... Hold on one sec while I fix one thing. Okay. My son had today had threw up and a couple times, and he had a fever. And so, given the circumstances, we were all like, "Oh, oh God." Um, and of course, this happened right after he and I had a nap. Like basically, he had just fallen, and most of the time he either doesn't want a nap because he's 3.5. Actually, he's going to be 4 in a few months actually, so he's almost 4. But he either doesn't want a nap or he wants to nap with mom. And so he was just like the fact that he was like, oh, and he was feeling a little cold, I guess. So it sounded. So he came over and then we just fell asleep, and that was great. And I woke up and he looked kind of not great. And I'm like, are you okay, Kalen? And then he throws up and he has his fever. And I'm like, oh no. And so we went and we checked and whatever. And he had one other instant like that. And then and this is why I actually started the stream later than I planned to, because we went down and watched Inside Out, because I got Disney Plus, which is the greatest decision ever. I got that about 2, I guess maybe 3 months ago, and never made a better decision as of late, because that's been a lifesaver, during these times. And we watched Inside Out, which he had never seen. And at the end of it, he still was clearly like a little not feeling great. And his fever, by the way, was like 100.1 or 99.9. Like it wasn't, way high. I took his temperature again and he was 98.8. I was like, really? And I did it again. It was like 98.7. I'm like, so our guess now is that what he might have dealt with is some kind of low-grade food poisoning, because I've had that in the past where I have a food poisoning incident and it does give you a short fever, because there is no coronavirus knowledge at all on Earth that suggests that you get a fever which breaks an hour and a half later. Not to mention the fact that he had no breathing problems, no coughing, none of that. So fingers crossed, that's all that it was, because obviously it's not just for him. It's the fact that, my mother-in-law is in her mid-60s. She lives with us and has had respiratory issues in the past. I've got the heart arrhythmia thing that I had in the past. As far as I know, I'm pretty healthy, I think. But there's certainly the possibility that something like that, that my wife, obviously, the fact that my daughter is still home with us, little Arv is still with us. So just for a lot of reasons it's not going to make a big difference anyway, since we've all been more or less self-isolating now for a week and a half at least. But, you have to go out to the pharmacy once in a while. You have to go out to the store to get, even if you get most things delivered, occasionally you have to leave your house to go somewhere. And so, yeah, Inside Out is great. You know what, Arudinel? I figured you might like that because of stuff we've talked about before. But seriously, watching that movie again, how brilliant is that movie? Like, it's just so well done. It's amazing to me that it got made, because it's basically a movie that outwardly looks to be about nothing, which is really sort of strange. But anyway, yeah. So I am a huge fan of that. But so anyway, it's possible that I still have to be on call basically, and so it's possible that there may be a situation where I need to go and deal with him conceivably. So if so, I hope people will understand that is the case. Yeah, well, for me, my heart has been in rhythm now for, knock on wood, over 3 years again. It went out of rhythm back in 2013 for the first time. Then it went out of rhythm again about 3 years later, I want to say, like November 2016. And then it went out of rhythm again in June of 2017, but that's a little misleading because I had a bad stomach flu, which actually John may remember, because I had to cancel D&D and everything because of it. And I was out of commission for basically 4 or 5 days, and I didn't eat anything. I tried to drink liquids, but I couldn't keep anything down or eat anything really for like 3 or 4 days. So my electrolytes were screwed up to hell, which meant that, oh my God, Red Lair! Welcome to our new. Do you like the new emotes, Redlear? Thank you so much, Redlear. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. So I had such a bad sort of reaction to that basically I think my electrolytes were all screwed up, and so I ended up having to my electrolytes were screwed up, and I ended up going out of rhythm again. But it went back into rhythm after a few days, and since then, that was June of 2017. So I almost think it was just triggered by that terrible stomach flu, which is the worst I'd had in 20 years. And since that time, 2017, we're now coming up as of June of this year, it will have been 3 years. So because that suggests that it's not just that it gets progressively worse, that it slips into arrhythmia, atrial fibrillation, and then, 2 years and then 6 months and then, you know what I mean? This was not like that, thankfully. So I'm hoping that continues to be the case. So, and I'm on almost nothing for it because my heart is in rhythm, and it's much better to be in rhythm than out of it. So that helped a lot. Yeah, for sure, Rudinell, yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody who just came in. First of all, thank you for watching that you just saw. I think, so I have to adjust, it just struck me, I need to adjust my details of this. Of Detroit Become Human. Let me change up my screenplay. How you doing up there, Redlear? Redlear, how are you doing in an actually humane country? A country that actually tries to help its citizens, How you doing in that place? I'm using an Elgato HD60 Pro, which I like. But quite honestly, down the line, I can see myself, there's 2 upgrades I'd want to do down the line, 3. My 3 upgrades for down the line are, I want to get 1 or 2 Elgato key lights so that I can get a lighting that goes this way over basically over my, under my hat, so I don't get the shadows of my hat. So that's one, just get more even lighting, because the better lighting I have, the better my cameras work. So that's one thing. Second thing would be to get a mirrorless camera. That's a Sony a5100, because the camera, that's basically the kind of camera that Rob uses, not the same type, but it's not the same brand, but it's the same idea. And they just look so much better, even than webcams. And then the third thing is I would like to get a probably AverMedia capture card, which is basically allows me to stream in 120 frames as opposed to 60, which may not be noticeable, except I'd like you to see it as well as I see it, basically. So that's the deal with that. So it's those are all like the sort of long-term stream goals that I'm going to try to get over time. First, I have to do some things like I'm still paying this computer down, and I am giving. First of all, I have to pay Terry for the commissions for this, which I'm going to be doing in just a couple of days when I get my Patreon money. So thank you to those of you who are doing that. When I get the Twitch money, I'm going to be paying back more to Dragonspear, who helped part of the upfront cost of this. And then when those are paid off, and when I've got that stuff paid off, then I will move on to these next things. So we're getting there. Yeah, I know that's true, Coven, but like yes, and it's an internal one. It's the internal one. Yes, sorry. It's an internal capture card, yeah. I did the internal capture card because I basically wanted as little latency as possible. And what I've experienced is that that's been mostly true. The Elgato's a little quirky, and you have to sometimes fiddle with it a bit. But on the whole, I'm pretty happy with it. I just would like to do a little bit more with that. Yeah, there's especially with USB 3, there are some very good external capture cards. I used to use a external capture card that was an AverMedia, but it was an older one that I bought from Inaminatus of all things, like 5-6 years ago or something, which I might still use for portable stuff on occasion, but basically I just found that not satisfactory because there's too much lag. So having something like this is great because, now, especially that I have that second PC, the capture card is now a big workhorse for me because now my Nintendo Switch gets captured through that. My Retron gets captured through that. My Wii U, which is what I'm playing Legend of Zelda Wind Waker on, gets captured through that. The PS4 I'm about to do gets captured through that, and the second PC. So basically 5 things get captured through that. So yeah. Yeah, I saw that he popped on. I didn't get a chance to stop by and say hi, but I'm just adjusting my stream title. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. That's better. Lovely. Okay, we're good to go. Does it julienne fries? Oh, the tier 2 sub. For some reason, why did I not hear that? I don't know why I didn't hear that just now. Uh, that's strange. Oh, because it overlapped the first resub. Oh, because it was an upgrade. Because I'm very, very sneaky. Redlear, thank you. And Redlear, do you realize that by upgrading like that, first of all, you're an officer and a gentleman. And I didn't even see what you said. What did you say in response to my question of how you're doing? I feel for my friends in the USA. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. So, I don't know if you noticed this, but please note, sir, that now that you have upgraded to tier 2, not only do you get an inspiration for use in one of our D&D games, you also get Arvany Smug, one of my favorite of the new emotes. If you've ever wanted a phoenix called Fifi to cross her arms and look at you smugly, that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy with that emote. I love Arvany Smug. Terry Toons did such a great job, and it was her idea. She was just like, why don't you ask me to use an emote? I'm like, can I? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So yeah. Okay. Jedi Fallen Order, How I Loved You. Oh, there was an update file for that. Cool. But we're not playing it. We're playing Detroit Become Human. Yeah, she did such a good job. And all of you, I think especially Mrs. Dunsel, got a chance to use so much of the Arvany roar during that last one. Like so much of the, like, everyone was just kind of like, Arv's angry. You know, like, yep, this is a perfect time to use this. So anyway, yeah, that is great too. That is great too. And of course, at tier 3, we've got this. Arvany Love, so we got that too. All right, I am going to, I'm not even going to put this on break. I'm just going to quickly go check on my son. So bear with me. Please talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in just a minute because he's going to bed. I want to make sure he's okay. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Thank you all for being patient. So there's bad news and good news. So the bad news is that he threw up a couple more times when he was fed something. So when we tried to give him something a little bit like crackers or something, he threw it up. But the good news is, they just gave him a little water to sip. The good news though is that we just took his temperature again twice, and he's totally normal, 98.5. No, his temperature is normal. And he seems much more like himself. Like he's sitting there. He's not 100% back, but he seems much more like himself, much more like relaxed. Like his mom is reading to him right now as they're going to bed. He's going to bed late because of all of what has happened. So yeah, so I don't know. It may be just a 24-hour something or other. It sounds like food poisoning to me too. But yeah, that's my guess, Mrs. Dunsel. Cause I was like, I went and I also like looked up. Also, we have a family member who's a nurse that we called as well, and she confirmed the same thing. It doesn't make any sense that he'd have a fever that would then break immediately, and then all of a sudden, like it's going to go back up to being like it doesn't make any sense. Like that's not how the coronavirus works. It's not how any of the normal, like So yeah. I mean, that's true, and he's definitely been that before. It's just that he hasn't had a lot to get sick on because he's been home. But I mean, he has gone out, with us, like walking all because we have to take him. We have to go out and get air and sun, and we have like a little postage stamp of a backyard, but we've walked up and down the street. It's sometimes hard to keep him from touching things because he's 3.5. So he'll touch something, and then we have the disinfecting wipes, we have the alcohol swabs, but there's only so more that you can do. So it is concerning. We'll continue to watch that, but but just the fact that there's no fever is the part that I'm like, okay, I'm really kind of holding on to that. So, and then I went and I washed my hands, again for another, 25, 30 seconds after I took his temperature. Sam and Ella. Sam and who? I'm sorry. Am I missing? Yeah, I'm sorry. I completely missed the reference. I don't know the reference. Salmonella. Cute. Yes, I got it. Well done. I completely missed that. I was just like, what? Salmonella. All right. So, in case people are curious, this is the game that we're going to be playing when I play games, video games. We're going to be playing this next. When this is done, we're going to be going into Kingdoms of Amalur. So that's what we've got going on. And I played one day of this, like 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. So yeah, that is definitely an Arvany what? No, it was good. It's solid. Once I got what you were talking about, I'm like, oh, now it all makes sense. Now I get to use my favorite kind of controller, which is the PlayStation DualShock. That was on a note from the local supermarket. Nice. Have you folks seen, there's a meme out there of the
I haven't seen you for a while. It's good to have you back.
That's super creepy that you just said that. You're right, I haven't been here. But have you seen the meme where the mayor of Chicago is the mayor of Chicago? Like I guess she stopped a couple of people, like some groups of people. She went out one day and she stopped some groups of people that were congregating together, and she's like, "You got to go home. What are you doing? Like, you can't do this, blah 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 blah." And she had this one picture where it's basically like, right? And so someone thought it was really funny, so they started making someone made like a cardboard cutout and started putting it in different places, and then it became an internet thing where they just have like Lori Lightfoot, who's the name of the mayor. Lori Lightfoot does not want you here either, and they kept like photoshopping her image like in front of like a video arcade, and then in front of like a restaurant. It was really cool. And incidentally, just as a note before we get into this, now we're still not quite all the way there. But if you compare the facial expressions of Greedfall, which I was playing the other day, I know Marinda was there for that, and you look at this, now admittedly, this is Quantic Dream, they got a lot more money, and they had a lot more resources that they put into this. But just, there's a big difference. Right, Arundel? I loved it. It was so cool.
Did you know that you can review your story progress in the...
Shut up. Okay. Now I need to remember what the hell I was doing. I know there were three stories. One story of the guy who was with the guy who was the artist, whose son came in, and the artist had a heart attack. And then there was the second one, which was the guy who was the detective who managed to get the hostage negotiator guy who managed to get the one guy saved. And then the third one with the guy who played what's his face from Highlander. And then the third one was the woman who saves the kid from the abusive father. So we did those three. Yeah, but did you know? November 5th, 2038. Thank you for the thank you for gift, dude. Red Lear, like, coming through. Thank you. Thank you, Red Lear. That means we are now at, welcome to the Arvanauts again, Jasper. So now we have got, and Jasper, now you've got use of all of the new emotes for us too. So we have now got, ladies and germs, 50 subscribers, I believe now, thanks to Red Lear's generosity. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for using Detroit buses.
Okay, Genly.
All right. End of the line.
End of the line.
Yeah, you're gonna have to leave.
Wake up. We have to go.
She saved her kid before. Saved this kid after she also killed the dad.
Do you know if there's any other place we could spend the night?
I have no idea. She's gonna have to leave.
Aw, thanks, Genly.
You gonna be okay? We'll find somewhere to spend the night. Come on, Alice, we've got to hurry. We need a place to stay. Do you know anywhere we could spend the night?
The power of androids. God. They did such a good job, though, of, like, look at this. Okay. Motel. We're going to examine that, and we're going to go to the motel.
The line is green. You may now cross the
Wait, what? Yeah. What is that? What is that? What am I looking at? Oh. I'm comfortable with safe how to get in. Or I could go to the motel. I think a motel is more logical, isn't it? Except I don't have any money. Comfortable but not discreet will need money. Open 24/7, can't stay. Won't open before morning. Can't sleep here, but ask for help. Shop is closed. Alright. Let's see what we can do about going down there. Yeah, I just realized, Scalar Zero. Yeah, it's only on PlayStation. Oh, it did? Oh, right. It did recently do that. Yeah, I already had gotten it on PS4, so. And at the time, the PS4 ran better than my computer did. Whoa. Hey. Excuse you. Can you come with me?
Alice, you're freezing cold.
I'm okay. I'm not so cold.
You look lost.
We have nowhere to go.
I know someone who can help you.
Wow.
But that's on the other side of town. We need a place for tonight.
Who is that guy?
Come on, Alice.
Thank you for using Detroit buses.
Um. I think androids are important to this. Wait. Oh, that's what I was looking. Sleep in car. I guess.
It looks abandoned. Stand back, Alice. It's dry inside, and nobody will find us here.
I don't want to sleep in there. Can't we find a better place?
Okay. We'll find somewhere better.
Interesting. It's gonna be a little rough because, like, generator. Can I get it running? Oh, isn't that a portable generator? It looks like a portable generator. Shouldn't I be able to use that? Guess not. And I can't get in here, can I? Well, if we can't sleep there, then... Oh, it's the tool on top of it. I'm not... Yeah, but I'm not able to... It's not letting me, like, use that, though. Yeah, it doesn't give me an option to take it. Okay, well... I guess not, then. Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Rude. Now, sleep well. Yep, for sure. Convince the kid to sleep in the car. The thing is, I'm not wild about the car either. So that's the... Check motel. Check the house. What house? Maybe what they meant by the house is... Oh my god, Red Lear, dude. Gifting the sub to Mr. John Helfers, Radio Johnny Panda. Thank you, Red Lear. Look at this, Radio Johnny Panda, who's now got that 5-month at Red Quill. 1 month away from the coveted, whatever the heck the 6-month quill is now. Yeah, and you may be right about that, John. I may have to. I'm thinking about that house. How do I get to the house, though? Thank you, Redlear. I appreciate that, man. You're going crazy tonight with the generosity. Thank you, man. Very kind of you. How do I... Alright, let's go in here and see if we can find more information.
Look, the store is still open. Maybe we should go inside. At least you'll be out of the cold.
What do you want?
Don't think I do.
I'm with a little girl, and we have nowhere to go. Could you spare some money so we can get a room for tonight?
Shit. A homeless android? Ah, that's the best yet. Look, this is a convenience store, not the Salvation Army, okay? You better go if you're not gonna buy anything.
No. That's the last thing we need. Because if we steal from them when we get found, then all of a sudden the cops find us, then all of a sudden they go after her, then all of a sudden they find out that there's a dead guy lying back at the house that I used to work for. And yeah. Oh man, I don't know how to I don't think I have a neighborhood map. Yeah. I have a flowchart, but that's not the same thing. Yeah, I don't have... Maybe I gotta do the car. I was thinking about the motel, but I'm gonna need money for that. Yeah, but but that's part of the way the game is designed. I understand that a little bit, I guess. No Android allowed. Payable in advance.
We're not going in?
We have to find $40 and get rid of this uniform. Or go somewhere else.
It really does feel like you're walking through this, like, the streets of Detroit. It's pretty wild. Oh. Find clothes.
There's nothing more this way.
Shoot. Well, I can go to the laundromat. Yeah, for sure. Miranda agreed.
It's warm in here. You'll feel better in no time.
Change of clothes. Pollinating bees officially extinct. The beeline to disaster. Cyber expert warns your Android could be hacked. It's time to face the music. Live concerts to make a comeback. My husband got an Android pregnant. Story inside. For the younger generation, watching concerts in VR has become the norm. Oh my god. Is this prescient right now? Yeah. Who wouldn't want to slip on a VR headset and enjoy the show from the best seat in the house? It's a cheap, safe, and no-hassle solution to watching your favorite performers. But live music is about to be de-revolutionized. Nina and Kosuka Music have launched a campaign to bring back old-school concerts with live audiences in front of performers in the flesh. Chuck Morris, an NKM spokesperson, explains, the culture of going to live concerts is a thing of the past, but we want to bring that back. Real music is when it's vibrating through your soul, surrounded by people who are experiencing the same thing. Wow. Oh, man. Break the Wall will be one of the first bands to take the stage. Performing in front of a live audience and getting an immediate reaction will be mind-blowing. This is what music is supposed to be all about, says lead singer Baz Rudd. The hype, the applause, the screams, you just don't get that sitting on your sofa. If this proves a success, NCAM's next step is to bring back music festivals, which should be music to fans' ears. Wow. Pollinating bees officially extinct. For decades, scientists and farmers foresaw the inevitable extinction of bee populations. Despite these warnings, the Global Institute for Endangered Species announced at their Washington AGM yesterday that wild bees are now officially extinct. Living specimens exist only in captivity. Bee numbers have been ravaged in recent decades by colony collapse disorder, where worker bees disappear, leaving hives which cannot feed themselves. Biologists confirmed that CCD was accelerated by the overuse of pesticides in crops, parasites, and pollution. Yeah. No. He's saying that the way that everybody watches now is VR, but they want to do live concerts again where you don't have VR, where you actually go to them. At least that's the theory. Consequences of this catastrophe will be felt across the cotton industry, fresh water supplies, and most disturbingly, agriculture. Environmentalist Kathy Linda has stressed the breadth of this news. 1 in 3 mouthfuls of food we eat relies on pollination of some kind. The resulting famine will lead to millions of deaths worldwide. CyberLife, in cooperation with GIES, have come forward with plans on creating robotic bees. Some are pursuing non-robotic approaches, such as Detroit Urban Farms currently experimenting with modified strains of bee produced in captivity. But there's no guarantee that they will thrive. Wow. Oh, yeah. I mean, could be. I could see that. Okay. Nothing there. Nothing there. Program complete.
What are you doing? They're not our clothes.
We need them, Alice. You need something warm, and I need to get rid of this uniform.
But that's stealing. We can't do that.
You're right. We won't do it, okay?
Jeez, you don't want to sleep in a car. You don't want me to... Can I talk to this guy? Can I talk to you? I can't talk to him? No, it's not that, Miranda. It's that if you change to clothes, she can hide it, basically, that she's an android. And then she can go into the motel, if she had money. Yeah, she's like, I don't want to sleep. I mean, we may have to go to the car, like, straight up. Because we can't steal. I don't want to rob the cashier. Well, I mean...
Come on, let's go.
Technically the kid, really. At least she got warm. I don't understand how I'm supposed to check the house. Check what house?
Come on, let's go back.
Yeah, I don't understand what check the house means. Because that's the best option. Like, there might be another way in where? Into this building? Are you talking about? Is this what they mean when they say check the house? Or are they talking about something else? They're not talking about the one the android said, are they? They are talking about that? Okay. Alright, so I gotta go here. No, I know. I was just looking, Allie, to see if there was another way in. The place on the corner. What do you mean? Oh, this is not this. Oh, that place. Okay. Well, let's see if I can get into that place through here. Can I?
An abandoned house. At least we'd be out of the rain.
Kara, I don't like this place.
I know.
Kid. Like,
But it's just for one night, and no one will look for us here.
okay, I need to find a wire cutter. Ah, I know where to find the wire cutter. I don't like this place. I don't like that place. And I will say, Miranda, I don't know how much privilege she's had when she's been abused like no one's business from, you know, by her father. So, her piece of crap father. Yeah.
Are you alright?
Yes, it's just a scratch. Be careful.
Do androids
Don't
get
worry, we're
tetanus?
just having a look.
Yeah, right. I know what you mean. Find a way in. Okay. There's gonna be some, like, 3 homeless guys who are gonna be like, get out of my place!
Alice?
What?
Alice!
What?
Wait, what are you doing?
Visitors. Ralph doesn't like visitors. They're nasty. They may hurt Ralph.
Look, I'm an android too. We have nothing to be afraid of. All we want is a place to spend the night.
Visitors are dangerous. Look what they did to Ralph.
You have nothing to worry about. We're not going to do you any harm. You have my word.
You must excuse Ralph. Ralph still finds it difficult to control himself. Sometimes his fear makes him do things he regrets.
Perfect emote right
Ralph
there.
has seen some hard times. He's just so scared the humans will get him again. You can stay if you want. Ralph won't hurt you.
Okay. We'll just stay the night.
Come on! Come on! This way. Ralph has lived here since he ran away. Ralph never goes outside, so no one knows he lives here. Humans come in to squat from time to time, but, you know, Ralph just hides till he leaves.
Wow.
You can make yourself at home here. Ralph is gonna go into the other room. He would like to stay with you. But he has things to do.
It's just for one night, Alice. We'll find a better place tomorrow. Right. Let's see where you can sleep.
Wow.
Sit down and I'll start a fire.
I don't know, but whoa, 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 whoa. Find matches. Yes, I saw that, Hilness. Ralph's a complicated machine. Ralph! Sure, those aren't mold-filled. But it's better than the alternative. They're fine. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a recovery. I didn't know that one. Okay. And I need wood. I bet Ralph is not going to be happy about a fire. Because here's what's going to happen. She's going to start the fire. There's going to be smoke. Humans are going to come in. Fastest starting fire
I did
in
what
history.
I could. It's not much, but at least you'll be warm.
Open flue.
I didn't hear him.
Hey!
Why was he so upset with me?
Thank you for the raid, Celestian.
All I wanted was a life like other girls.
Thank you for the raid, Celestian GC. Welcome, everybody.
Maybe I did something wrong.
Plans in Detroit become
Maybe
human.
I wasn't good enough.
I'll thank you properly when I can.
That's why he was always so angry.
Welcome, everyone.
I just wanted us to be a family.
Hello, Gold
I
Public.
just wanted him to love me. Why can't we just be happy?
I don't know, Alice.
You'll never leave me, right? Promise you'll never go.
I promise.
Will we be together forever?
Forever.
Really, really amazing facial expressions in this. Really amazing. Wild.
You've got to sleep.
It's pretty impressive. I know. Hard to believe, right, Hilness? So welcome, everybody. Oh.
Sleep tight, Alice.
I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. They really did. Thank you so much for the raid again, and welcome everybody. My name's Arvin Eleron. I play all sorts of different games, but I focus on story and narrative-based games. I finished Operencia just a little while ago, and this is day 2 of Detroit Become Human. I'm going to play this till it's done, not tonight, but I mean over the next few sessions, and then I will go on with Detroit Become. Then I'll go on with Kingdoms of Amalur next. So. But welcome, and I hope everyone likes what they see in here. We have new emotes for subscribers we're talking about, so... Trophy earned. Shelter. Stayed in the squat. Nice. So, I'm going to look at that trophy in a minute. So we could have gone here, break into a car, but then we found another option. Inside the laundromat. We could have stolen clothes. We could have done the whole motel thing. We could have stolen stuff from the supermarket. There would have been a lot there. I think this was probably the safest. I'm curious. Okay, so how many people did this way? Hey, what's up, Optic Nerve? Good to see you, Optic. They're not baby dragons. It's Fifi the Phoenix. Okay. So let's see. 99% of people talk to the Android trash collector. 82% enter the supermarket. 51% check the squat. 73% check the motel. So, take the wire cutters, 52%, 51%. Meet Ralph. 44% convinced him, 41% followed. 1% didn't promise, and then watched Alice from the chair. Wow. You went the motel route? Yeah, I thought, I mean, the laundry, I was never going to steal from the cashier because I'm like, this is dumb. I do that, and first of all, I don't want to do it ethically in front of Alice. Secondly, I don't want to do it ethically, period. Thirdly, even if I were to do that, the police are going to know. And the police are, the police are likely to find out, and then I'm screwed. Like, a guy just died that I was supposed to be serving, So, like, this is just not a good call. The laundromat was close. I thought seriously about the laundromat, but I was like, especially when Alice came up, she's like, wait, that's stealing. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. So... Fofo the baby dragon. Yeah, no, not so much. Yeah, I thought there might be a lot of steps too. All right, I want to take a look at the trophies here we just got. Let's see. I don't think that's the most recent trophy. I just got another trophy. Shelter. Okay. Karen Ellis slept in the motel with the squad. Okay, that's pretty easy. Okay. Very cool. Look at that. Gorgeous. November 6, 2038. What the hell is this? Is this Carl? Maybe. Wait, what? Impaired Village, Corrupted Mine Palace. All symptoms in low power mode defective. Left and right leg components missing, unable to stand. Jesus Christ, what happened to this guy? Oh, Marcus. Carl was the old guy. It was Marcus. So this is Marcus? What the hell happened to him? Don't tell me. I'll figure it out. Corrupted audio damage. Audio data damage. Oh my god. Replace legs. This is dark. Wow. I don't entirely remember what happened to Marcus. Did he get taken out by the cops? I don't actually remember. I know that they came in and that the son claimed that it was him. That he was responsible, but... Status functional compatible. Jeez. Good God. A gunshot, that's right. Now I remember, I had forgotten. Other component damaged, incompatible. Jeez. Wow. So creepy. Compatible, okay. Has not answered yet. I know, right? The android dump. Wow. This is creepy. Oh my god. This is so... Oh my god, okay.
There's a place where we can be free. Find Jericho! Find Jericho!
Jesus. Oh my god, what? Wow.
Where are you going?
Holy crap. Oh my god, what is this place? Right, Lone Wolf? Okay. Compatible. This is insanely creepy. So freaking creepy. Thank you for the host, Gray. I appreciate it, man. You'd think they would destroy them in some, like, logical way, wouldn't you? Or recycle or something. This is not gonna work. Wow. audio processor is functional. He's gonna try to grab me. It's like grab with wrist. You'd think that other androids would be doing the same thing, wouldn't you? Possibly. It really is Bulgaris. Okay, it's compatible. Ow. Ah, something. Man. Litter bug, yeah. Okay. It's going to find an optical unit. This is like 7th level of hell stuff. Nope, still can't.
Can you please end it? I don't want to live anymore.
No, there's a possibility of losing characters.
Make it quick.
Would you like another glass of red wine? Unexpected error is error. I apologize for any inconveniences.
That was no fun. Compatible? Aha. Okay. Yeah, there is a possibility of losing it. I'm not playing
Hello.
difficult.
I'm an AK-700 android. I was designed to serve you. What? My program has detected an anomaly. Please contact the nearest CyberLife Maintenance Center.
Wow. I want to be a real boy. Alright, climb the slope. Here we go. This is going to be a joy. This music, though. The music, though. Wow. That was awesome. Awesome use of music. Awesome use of music. Really well done there. Like Batman out of the hole, right? I mean, it's not unusual, but it's well done. Blue, one green. Wow. Ow. Oh, so that was like his control thing, basically? His control button, more or less? Alright, he's an independent thinker now. It's nice that it just covers over so we don't know that he's an android now. Yeah, basically. Dang.
My name is Marcus.
That's sweet. And a long coat just for him. That was pretty awesome. That was dark as hell, but that was pretty awesome. I mean, look, I understand that it was overly dramatic in spots, whatever. That's still well done. You can have overly dramatic stuff that's well done like that. Alright, what do we got? So, none of this was the same. Find optical unit, 100%, 55%, 100%. Android begs to die. See, only 41%. I had a hard time doing that. Okay, good night, Hillness. Yeah, convenient. Good night, Hill. Sleep well, man. That was... Wow. That one thing about the killing was basically, to me, euthanasia, and I don't know what I would have done if I were in that situation, but... Wow. Alright, we'll do one more of these scenes, I think. Got time for one more. Meanwhile, this guy... Yeah, that was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. Listen, Quantic has always been good at that. Quantic sometimes has other issues. They can sometimes hit the nail on the head a little too much. A little Hideo Kojima-ish. They can do other things sometimes that are a little, you know, they're too driven by QTEs, all the way back to Indigo Prophecy, you know. Heavy Rain is like this. Oh god, what's the one with what's-her-face? Beyond Two Souls, you know, like that. So they're too obsessed with the QTE, but they're always good at nailing kind of emotional resonance of things. That's Amanda, I think.
Hello, Amanda.
Connor, it's good to see you. Congratulations, Connor. Finding that deviant was far from easy. And the way you interrogated it was very clever.
What's it with creepy people and flowers in Android movies?
Thank you, Amanda.
It's happened in Minority Report, too.
We've asked the DPD to transfer it to us for further study. It may teach us something about what happened. The interrogation seemed challenging. What did you think of the deviant?
It showed signs of PTSD after being abused by its owner. As if its original program had been completely replaced by new instructions.
This Lieutenant Anderson has been officially assigned to the deviancy case. What do you make of him?
I think he's irritable and socially challenged. But I also think he used to be a good detective.
Exactly what I would have said.
He's an intriguing character.
Bingo. That's what I would have said.
Unfortunately, we have no choice but to work with him. What do you think is the best approach?
I will try to establish a friendly relationship. If I can get him to trust me, it will be helpful for the investigation.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous. You're the most advanced prototype CyberLife has ever created. If anyone can figure out what's happening, it's you.
What if you don't
You
like...
can count on me, Amanda.
If you don't like what I answer? Yep.
Hurry, Connor. There's little time.
Bad ending. Detroit City Police Department, Central Station, Michigan. Mr. Anderson.
Can I help you?
I'm here to see Lieutenant Anderson.
Do you have authorization?
Authorization is Mary.
Lieutenant Anderson hasn't arrived yet, but you can wait at his desk.
Tensions in the Arctic have reached a new level, with a Russian carrier and an American patrol boat reported to have clashed last night. Several warning shots were exchanged, apparently with no damage or casualties to
Hey, what's
either
up,
side.
Marworks?
The Minister for Defense, Dennis Riggs, has spoken of intolerable provocation that cannot go unanswered.
Great.
The countries in the region, particularly Sweden and Canada, have called for military forces to withdraw.
Hey, Marworks,
And an
did you send me a
international
Steam
conference
friend request? I want to make
So
sure
far,
that's you
there has
before I
been
say
no
yes.
response from either Moscow or Washington. We'll keep you informed minute by minute as the situation develops.
Whoops. Yes, you did. Okay, good. I'll accept that later then. I just didn't know. Let's read. Police officer person, maybe? Hello, I'm a person. Detective Collins. Lieutenant Anderson. Okay.
Excuse me. Do you know what time Lieutenant Anderson usually arrives?
Depends on where he was the night before. If we're lucky, we'll see him before noon.
Thanks.
Going pretty well. Playing this after winning Operencia. Probably gonna. This is gonna be the last scene that I'm gonna play of this, but just went through really two awesome scenes. In particular, the last one was really creepy, but well done. What about Lieutenant Anderson? Whoops. Is that, oh God, who is that? I know that. Looks like that actor that I've completely forgotten about now. I was about to say, God, who's the guy from Ian Michael... Ving Rhames, yeah. Is that Ving Rhames? But you know who it also reminded me of was, is it Ian Clark Duncan? Who was the guy that he passed away not that long ago? Actually, no, maybe I guess like 4 or 5 years ago now that I think of it. But he was in Michael Clark Duncan, yeah. I really like Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah, Ving Rhames. Examine his desk. Examine his desk. Yeah, the Green Mile. Oops. Knights of the Black Death. Shadowed, your opinion. How are Knights of the Black Death? Solid group, right? Okay. How's my driving? Anti-android slogans. Detroit basketball. Cap, okay. Band is good, singers, man. Is that an actual group? Or did they just make it up? Harris, Canine Heart, St. Bernard dog. Ah, he's a dog guy. See, I knew this guy was good. Good dude. Red Ice Task Force 2027. Multi-department unit responsible for the Red Ice Network dismantle of 2028. No, okay. Detroit police dismantled a network of red ice dealers. More than 50 arrests throughout the country. Detroit's Finest has dealt a massive blow to the city's growing red ice epidemic, with a number of high-profile dealers and suppliers now behind bars, and narcotics seized with a street value of $500,000. Detective Hank Anderson, a young but hugely talented detective, is said to have been instrumental in the operation, which took months of planning. The DA described the work of Detective Anderson and his colleagues as model and investigative police work. Okay. Detective Anderson promoted to the rank of lieutenant. That was February 3rd, 2028. August 22nd, 2029. Promoted, becoming the youngest lieutenant on the Detroit Police Force. Lieutenant Hank Anderson was among the most decorated detectives in DPD's recent history, securing a number of high-profile arrests and serving as an integral member of the force. Captain Fowler said the promotion was long overdue, describing Anderson as among the most talented police I've ever worked with. The new lieutenant is expected to rise quickly through the ranks of the department and is already being tipped as a future commissioner. New record seizure of red ice in Detroit. Nearly a ton of red ice discovered in the hold of a boat after a long investigation conducted by Lieutenant Anderson of the Detroit Police Force. Okay. He likes calories 452. Oh, Mansley Donuts, simply the best. He's a donut guy. Well, listen, he wouldn't be a cop if he wasn't a donut guy. Cold coffee, traces of caffeine. I mean, I hope so. Japanese maple, Asian Shishigashira Shohin. Lieutenant Anderson was a decorated officer.
It's good to see you again, Lieutenant.
Oh, Jesus.
Hank! In my office. I've got 10 new cases involving androids on my desk every day. We've always had isolated incidents. Old ladies losing their android maids and that kind of crap. But now, we're getting reports of assaults and even homicide, like that guy last night. This isn't just CyberLife's problem anymore. It's now a criminal investigation, and we've got to deal with it before the shit hits the fan. I want you to investigate these cases and see if there's any link.
Why me? Why do I gotta be the one to deal with this shit? I am the least qualified cop in the country to handle this case.
It really is more work.
I know jack shit about androids, Jeffrey. I can barely change the settings on my own phone.
Everybody's overloaded. I think you're perfectly qualified for this type of investigation.
Bullshit! The truth is, nobody wants to investigate these fucking androids, and you let me hold in the bag.
CyberLife sent over this android to help with the investigation. It's a state-of-the-art prototype. It'll act as your partner.
No fucking way! I don't need a partner, and certainly not this plastic prick.
Hank, you are seriously starting to piss me off. You are a police lieutenant. You are supposed to do what I say and shut your goddamn mouth.
You know what my goddamn mouth has to say to you?
Okay,
huh?
Okay. I'll pretend like I didn't hear that, so I don't have to add any more pages to your disciplinary folder, because it already looks like a fucking novel. This conversation is over.
Jeffrey, Jesus Christ, why are you doing this to me? You know how much I hate these fucking things. Why are you doing this to me?
Listen, I've had just about enough of your bitching. Either you do your job or you hand in your badge. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got work to do.
Has there ever been a police show where the police and lieutenant, get along well with each other?
The best person for this investigation. Hey, I don't need a machine to tell me how to handle my men, okay? So get the fuck out of my office. Have a nice day, Captain.
Wasn't really what I meant. Kind of wanted to be positive. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I suppose. I meant a serious cop show. Maybe I can, like, talk to... What's his face? Where the hell's his desk? Over here.
I get the impression my presence causes you some
Hill Street Blues?
inconvenience,
Yes.
Lieutenant.
That's fair.
I'd like you to know I'm very
I'll
sorry
agree with Hill
about
Street
that.
Blues. Did you know, by the way, that my,
In any case, I'd like you to know I'm
Hold on a
very
second.
happy to be working with you. I'm sure we'll make a great team.
My mom actually went to the American Academy for Dramatic Arts, was in the same class, and acted with Bill Devane from Hill Street Blues, John. I don't know if you knew that.
Now that we're partners, it would be great to get to know each other
Yep.
better. Is there a desk anywhere I could use?
No one's using that one.
Okay. Yep. Just gonna sit down here, Hank. And,
You have a dog, right?
How do you know that?
The dog hair's on your chair. I like dogs. What's your dog's name?
What's it to you? Sumo. I call him Sumo.
Sumo. Let's see.
Do you listen to Knights of the Black Death?
Yeah.
I really like that music.
Knights of the Black Death.
Full of energy.
Full of energy.
You listen to heavy metal?
Well, I don't really listen to music as such.
I love
I'd like to.
Knights of the Death Black. They're great.
You're a Detroit Gears fan, right? Denton Carter scored 53% of his shots from the three-point line yesterday. Did you see the game?
That's what I was watching at the bar last night.
Oh.
I forgot that.
Have you known Captain Fowler for long?
Yeah. Too long.
A lot of people don't appreciate having androids around. I was wondering, is there any reason in particular you despise me?
Is there any reason in particular you despise me?
Yeah. There is one.
What? He likes me twice and hates me twice?
I was wondering, do you always arrive at the office at this time?
I arrive when I arrive. Stop busting my balls, okay?
Probably a mistake.
If you have any files on Deviants, I'd like to take a look at them.
Terminal's on your desk. Knock yourself out.
I thought we'd made progress as this dude yesterday. Plaintiff reports that he left his android at home as usual. He went to work. When he returned, the android was nowhere to be found. No trace of a break in the apartment. The android may have left the home without being ordered to. Okay, Gordon Lopez. This plaintiff, Carrie Eames, to be attacked by an AV-500 number 234-777-821 model android working as a waiter in the Fast Coney Dogs restaurant chain situated at 842 Chamberlain Avenue. The plaintiff claims the android lunged at him unexpectedly and attempted to strangle the man before leaving the scene. The android remains at large. Yeah, that blew me away, Shadow, when I found that out. Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see how they would be put together and how... What this game, I think, handles pretty well are the potentials for what the interactions with them would be like. Not so much... I mean, there is touching on the thing, which is kind of a frustrating science fiction trope about how they always go rogue, and I'm not wild about that. But I do like the idea of interacting with androids, the kind of caste and class system that's almost built around them. Plaintiff claims to have been attacked by her android, an AP-700 number 489-1382 model. The android also trashed several rooms in the house before taking flight. My God. Plaintiff, the manager of the Eden Club, reported the unexpected disappearance of a sex android, model WR400, number 641790831. Android disappeared after accompanying a customer to his home and never returned to the club.
243 files. First dates back 9 months. It all started in Detroit and quickly spread across the country. An AX-400 is reported to have murdered a man last night.
Right, but
that could be a good starting point for our investigation.
Maybe if they can disconnect themselves from that, though. I was thinking about the Martha Wells murder bot, John, which does this.
I understand you're facing personal issues, Lieutenant. But you need to move past them. And
hey, don't talk to me like you know me. I'm not your friend, and I don't need your advice, okay?
I've been assigned this mission, Lieutenant. I didn't come here to wait until you feel like working.
Dang.
Listen, asshole. If it was up to me, I'd throw the lot of you in a dumpster and set a match to it. So stop pissing me off. Or things are gonna get nasty.
Lieutenant? I'm sorry to disturb you. I have some information on the AX-400 that killed the guy last night. It's been sighted in the Ravendale district.
I'm on it.
That went not well at all. That did not go as well as I would have hoped. Hank got a lead. What is my trophy that I got here? Know your partner? Connor found all the clues about Hank. Great. Not that it helped me do anything. Yeah, I want to show that in just a second, but okay, let's see. So, one in here, in the Zen Garden, right? Hank arrives, 99%. 90. I wonder what the 1% did. They just stopped playing. Hank storms out. Follow Hank at Fowler's office. Learn about Hank. Talk to Hank. Examine files. Talk about the case. Hank is mad. Hank got a lead. Okay, so everybody, pretty much what I did is what most people get through, I think is what we're looking at. So, okay. Is this saved? Does anybody know? Because this was as far as I wanted to go. Was this saved automatically? So, like, I'm good? I'm going to talk about that in just a second, Trisha Matz. Does anyone happen to know? I don't remember specifically, and I don't want to start something when I'm immediately going to have to stop it again. It should be? Okay. Okay, so, yes, it is, Elliot. Okay, so I want to show this one thing because we're talking about this right now. I read this book over the break, and I'm going to be starting to teach with this in my science fiction course starting in the fall. This is the first of the Murderbot Diaries called All Systems Red. It's by Martha Wells, who I happen to know very well. Martha is a very, very fine author, also did the Cloud Road series, and has written a Star Wars novel as well. I've been on panels with Martha, and I've done on Worldcon. I've been part of the writer's workshop where Martha and I have been paired up to critique other writers that come to us, often pretty good ones that become really like big parts of things over the years. And I like Martha a lot. Martha also, by the way, separate note to John, the second book, actually no, the first book, Gray Shade, Martha also was willing to blurb. Just a quick note about that. So I'll go to the menu in a second. Anyway, the reason I wanted to read this, though, was because I liked the fact that it's a novella, one of 4 novellas, and that it was, which makes it a little bit shorter, and that makes it easier for my introductory science fiction class to get through. Also, it's because it's by Martha, who is a fine Hugo and Nebula Award-winning author, as I've said. Martha is also another person that I can add to a course which has way too many white men in it. I'm trying to get more women involved, and so I'm trying to broaden out and develop, and I'm going to be doing that on several levels coming in the fall. This book, though, beyond all of that, is freaking awesome. In fact, I would argue this is one of the best treatments of androids I've ever seen, because it essentially takes an artificial intelligence with social anxiety and pairs that android with a group of people that she actually likes. And then there's a mystery that's involved, and there's like a lot of great action with it. But this is great. It's not good, it's great. I adored this. And I can't wait. I'm too busy in the middle of the semester, plus also doing my own writing, to read it. But once this semester is passed, I am planning to read the other Murderbot Diaries. These are great. Yes, I do. I'm a college professor, Ali Elliott, of English, as Rock God said. So I highly recommend this. Like, if you have not already gotten this, go get it. This is great. I actually got this. It wasn't during break, actually. I got this in February. My God, March felt like the longest month of all time for everyone in the world. But I was up at Boscone, and that's where I got this book, and it was great. Super great. So I highly recommend this. Again, just a wonderfully human treatment, which I really liked. So that was that. Okay, so now that I am here, we're going to go back up to here. I know about that. Yes, we installed that. Okay. Closing. No. I don't want to play this. No, I don't want to play this now. I love Jedi Fallen Order, but I've already played it and won it. It's over. This was my game of the year last year. I love this game. Not playing this now. No. Thank you. Good gravy. Okay. And okay, so let us get out of that. Okay, just a second as we get back up here. And we switch over to that. Just a second while we get that fixed. And there we go. Okay, so, wow, this is a great day today, folks. This is a really great day of game playing. And we had a good turnout tonight, and I really enjoyed finishing up Operenzi and getting a chance to play Detroit Become Human. That scene with him crawling through the thing that I liked about that scene was, so one of my objections to writers like Hideo Kojima, to game designers like him, is that I think Kojima is onto something, but I think Kojima can't get out of the way of the message, by which I don't think Kojima really trusts his audience. I think a lot of times he's telling a story and then he's like, nope, they're not going to get it. Here's the motive. Here's the moral of the story. You know, and it's just too hackneyed and over the top. And that's the way I felt about Death Stranding, having watched some of that being played, and really all the Metal Gear stuff. It's fun, but there's a certain point where you're just kind of like, and it just becomes lame at that point. I'll come back to that, Bulgaris. So yeah. So one of the things I like about, and that same thing could be argued about Cage here, in that he often has this problem where he writes sort of heavy-handedly, and you could see a little bit of that with the police interaction, and certainly you could make an argument. You could see some of that even with the abuse, and this in the first session of this that I played, where you're trying to deal with the father's abuse. There's a little bit of that, but I have to say that when he gets it right, when they get it right, and you get a scene like the one that we had there, he's really touching on some good stuff. A lot of what that is, folks, when they're crawling out of the pit, that is very much dealing with, that is straight out of Dante. That is Circles of Hell stuff. That is very much Inferno. And pulling oneself out of the Inferno and doing so as an android to come out of it is pretty wild. Now, the whole looking up in the rain, holding out his arms, saying, I am Marcus, and then grabbing a coat, is that overdramatic? Sure, it's overdramatic. But it's overdrama that works, and it's melodrama, but it's melodrama that works in this case because the delivery is handled so well. The music is really well done. And I don't know, it when it works, it works. Now, it doesn't always work. It's, again, too much emphasis on QTEs. Sometimes it's heavy-handed. But I find that it works more often for me than Kojima's stuff works for me, because I feel like Kojima never gets out of the way, and I feel like sometimes Cage does. And when he does, you've got something really powerful as a part of it. Exactly, Jasper. Exactly. I just don't think he's that subtle. I mean, I think as a writer, he's just not that subtle. But I think Cage has his moments. So anyway, that was cool. is the book that I recommend. Yes, that is part of the Murderbot Diaries. There are 4 of these Murderbot Diaries, and as far as I know, they're still going. I've only read this first one. This is the first one to start with, though, All Systems Red. And then I don't remember which order they are. Let me see what the second one is. Artificial Condition is the second book. Then I think the third one is Rogue Protocol, and the fourth one is Exit Strategy. Separate note, the covers of these are freaking awesome. Really, really good covers. And they're nice, like, hardcover design. I don't know. They're just really nicely done. And, yeah, I really was impressed about how she creates an environment where you really identify with the humanity, not only of the android, but the people that she's protecting, and you care about them. And she makes her intriguing and interesting without being depressing, and without being kind of, it feels true to android life, but in a warm sort of way. Really, it's an android with social anxiety. I just super well handled. Really, really like it. So, yeah. See, I disagree, Rock God. I disagree. I think that, first of all, I disagree entirely about whether you're quote unquote, haha, not smart. I disagree totally about that. You clearly are. But what I would say beyond that is trust your audience. Yes, it's possible to be too subtle. It is possible to be too kind of like clever, like I'm never going to answer a question. I am J.J. Abrams. I never finish an ending. It's possible to do that, but it's much more likely that you are going to that you're going to overstay your welcome and overstate your premise. And so that's one danger of don't, like, for example, if we just saw this same thing with Kojima, a lot of what Kojima would do in that scene would be kind of like, as he's climbing up the slope, he'd be like pulling it and there'd be like a hand holding him back, and he'd be saying something like, Marcus would be saying something like, I've got to survive. If I can just make it another step, I will not be held down again. Like, you know, that would be Kojima, because Kojima would be like, wait, they're not going to realize this is a big moment. I mean, this is a huge deal. Well, like he's trying to, I need to identify with him. Trust your audience. Trust your audience and believe that they will get, if you've set up the scenario and the characters properly, they will understand what you're getting at. So I'm not saying that you should not be thematic in your writing. I do think you should be so. And I do think there are writers who sort of wear their themes on their sleeves more than others do. Like Charles Dickens is one of my favorite writers ever. But I think that subtlety will bring you a long way, and the lack of subtlety in Kojima's work usually comes from a lack of trust in his audience, and I think that comes through in a way that I find frustrating. So, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of us think of, you know, I won't speak for John, but a lot of writers used to think that good game writing was just like sort of average at best novel or prose writing. You know, like people would say, this is a great story, and I'd play it and I'd be like, it's an okay story. That was in the past. Now I think games have caught up to stories, and now I think actually games have some medium advantages of the medium that allows them to tell stories which books can't tell. I also think that books and prose and short stories and novels have their own, you know, separate thing that they do better. And I would say the same thing about drama, live drama. I would say the same thing about film, has its own, you know, kind of niche. But games can tell stories very well sometimes. And I think that never used to be the case. That was not the case 20 years ago, but I think it's increasingly the case now. And a lot of that is because you have writers being moved over to video games, so-called mainstream writers, people who are writing for games now. That's part of it. But part of it is just that I think the audience is demanding better story. I think the audience for games wants better stories. Yes, they want gameplay, but they also want story that matches the gameplay. And that's the only way you can get a game like this, which, let's be clear, Detroit Become Human, it's basically click a couple of buttons, you know, move your thing around in a circle. Like, there's no physical skill involved in playing this. The gameplay, as Marinda, I think, said, is like an interactive novel. But what really matters is the story that makes you want to continue to play it, and the fact that you are personally invested in that story. So I am, I am impressed with things like this, and this is why I like doing stories in games, because I really like to see how narrative can vary depending on the medium that you're using it for. So, does Murderbot refer to itself as itself? Right. Was I referring to it as she? You may be right. You may be right. I may have been referring to it as she. That may be right. Because it doesn't, I don't know how often it refers to it. It may just be them. It's because there's so many she's, like women around, that this is referring to it as, that, yeah, refers to itself. Yeah, it is it. You're right. But I guess I'm thinking about Martha, who I know personally, and I was kind of, not that she's Murderbot necessarily, but I was kind of imagining those together. I should ask her sometime. That's fair. Itself. You're probably right. Yes, Rock God, they did. And that's why I said that scene is good melodrama. But what I'm saying is some melodrama's fine. Too much is over the top. So as he's climbing, you have the music, which is really awesome and makes you like, wow. Then if you added onto it, Marcus speaking during that scene and being like, I can't give up. That's too much. And that, I think, is what Kojima does. I think Kojima doesn't even let you breathe, right? It's music plus the speaking plus so yeah, I mean, like, I would never claim that Detroit Become Human has been incredibly subtle, but I think there were good moments. Even the moment where Marcus is painting for Carl and he's painting, that stuff. And it's a nice moment. And it was a nice interactive sort of quality. That was a nice interaction, and it had a nice subtle quality to that interaction, which I think Kojima would miss. So I'm not trying to just dunk on Kojima. I'm just saying that this is another example of a guy like this who does very story heavy games and, has a lot of sort of like, I'm very deep, the stories that I tell. And I've always felt a little bit like that's hollow, because, I see what happens when you get really well done storytelling style games. And so, yeah, like if you read Choice of Robots, if you play Choice of Robots, for instance, Choice of Robots is a really awesome, cool game. And admittedly, it's all text. Right? So there's no graphics at all, and therefore you can have just one author creating all of it, a lot of interactive branches and all that stuff. But I streamed that on my channel a few years ago. Choice of Robots was really, really neat, and it's actually on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. It's really cool, but obviously without the graphic stuff, that helps a lot, because then you can just write a bunch of words and do everything with theater of the mind. But the subtlety that you get from Choice of Robots is 10 times greater than what you get in either the Kojima stuff or this one that I just played. So it's a combination of both the graphic quality and the graphics and what the gameplay is doing and the actual story being told. But I've appreciated this so far. That's fair. I think that Cage maybe more would be rather making a film than Kojima, and maybe Kojima would rather, you're probably right that Kojima has some kind of gameplay innovation. Probably Kojima's stuff is better game as game, but the story is so heavy-handed, whereas I think Cage's stories are better stories, but the game is much more put to the side. Just my opinion. And again, I liked Metal Gear Solid and I played all the way up through Sons of Liberty, I think, and then I kind of got tired of them. I stopped playing them, but yeah. So, but anyway, these are discussions that I love, but I don't want to keep going because I got to get to bed, especially because I want to make sure that my son is doing okay. So, this was great though, folks. I really had a good time with this, and I hope you folks enjoyed it. If you did, I hope you will consider following the channel, and I hope you'll stick around because we are going to do a raid. I hope you will consider following the channel. I hope you will, what is this now? Yeah. I hope you will follow the channel. I hope you will check out our YouTube channel that I just previously mentioned, which is !ArvTube. Thank you for the follow, Alarail. !ArvCord is our Discord, where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. There are over 200 members over there now, so that is always a good thing. You can check us out there. !Arv Tweets is my Twitter. Would love to see people follow me over there. And we're up to 52 subscribers. We're also up to 5945 followers. We're actually only 55 followers away from 6,000, which is it's kind of a cool milestone. And we're now at 52 subs, which is great too. So the more that the sub numbers go up, the more that I can do things like, for example, do those new emotes that we have available to you. Good night, Ali Elliott. And again, thank you so much for coming in and watching. So yes. So thank you for those who subbed and resubbed and gave gift subs today, especially Red Layer gave a lot of gift subs today. So thank you to the gift subbers and to those who are on board. And I hope you'll consider continuing the subs as time goes on. I want to thank, everyone who watched. I think I mentioned ArvCord, etc. I'll talk about my website for this is arvaneleron.com. You can find my schedule over there for the month as well. On the financial side, !ArvTreon. That's that Patreon sitting right there at 313. That is one of the ways that I get sort of the most direct money, fewest fees, and so forth. And you can get some awesome things there, a critique of your writing. You can get a copy of one of my band's albums. You can get a character background written for you. You can get, inspirations for players. Thank you so much for the follow, Ali Elliott. Welcome to the Arvanauts. So you can get that too. And all of that by jumping over there and supporting me on the Patreon. Also, if you get a chance, you can check out the shop, !Arv shop, which has merchandise right now for my Infinity and Beyond crew, of which Radio Johnny Panda is a member. And also Adventures of Middle-earth, which is illustrated by Terry Toons, who did my emotes. But soon we will be adding other stuff to that. We will be adding some Esper Genesis stuff over there, and maybe even some stuff relating to those emotes that Echo Alpha just put up there. So we will see about that. That should be some good times also. And then last but certainly not least, of course, there is the sub button I just talked about. 52 subs, so hopefully we can keep people on board for that and get more people as we continue to move onward and upward throughout the year. I also want to thank, and then one last thing I want to mention is just the publishing stuff, which is just, if you're interested in, if you liked what I had to say about stories, or you found it interesting, and you're like, where can I find this guy's stuff to read? I'm glad you asked. You can check out, first of all, ! Icarus is my graphic novel, along with Jelinek. That is coming out in May. Again, the art for that has been spectacular, so I'm super happy with how that's coming out. That's coming out in late May, so you can pre-order it now from Athos Arts Entertainment at that link. ! Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, which is a 5e adventure / sourcebook that was written originally for members of the Gen Con Writers Symposium. And that was put out by Alligator Alley Entertainment, which is also doing my Greyshade RPG when that comes out. And that is available right now through DriveThru RPG, and will soon be available as well in print. The proofs are already at the printers, but you may have heard there's this global pandemic, and so the printer in Lithuania is currently under lockdown, and the printer that they would have used in Texas is in lockdown, and their distribution center is in lockdown. So yeah, so it's going to happen, but it's going to be a little bit of a delay in the print. But if you do that, go to that library, you can get the full completed version right now in PDF form, and I'm pretty proud of it. And last but certainly not least, of course, ! Greyshade KS. That is my Greyshade Kickstarter, which is my series of novels, which is being edited by that gentleman, Radio Johnny Panda, who has been watching, and is also going to feature an RPG, and is also going to feature a board game done by Clarion Game Studios. It will even feature, hopefully, an audiobook by one Mr. Trendane Sparks. And so I'm very excited about that, but that's also on hold because, again, global pandemic. So all of this has been on hold and all of it delayed and all that, but it will be happening eventually. So please consider jumping on board with that. Now, we are going to do a raid today. Thank you for all that, Echo. We are going to do a raid today, and the way the raids work are like this. If you are not a sub, you'll do this, which is the Arvanauts Have Landed, followed by Twitch raid. Which is lowercase Twitch, uppercase R, lowercase AID. If you are a sub, though, you are going to do this, which is the audiobook. Yeah, he's, man, so good. Rock God, really. The Arvanauts Have Landed, followed by Arvane Hype. That's ARVANE, lowercase, uppercase H, lowercase YPE. And that is going to be what you will put there when you were brought over automagically to the place that I am going to be having us raid in just a moment, and I think I have some good possibilities. I'm not going to raid Kilgore today, although I'm tempted because he's playing Deus Ex Mankind Divided, which is not only a good game, Human Revolution was great. Not only am I going to be playing that game myself, but it is in line, Detroit, androids, or like far, dystopic future, like it's very much in that same ballpark. However, I don't want to do exactly the same thing as I just did. So instead, I think I know who I'm going to go to. I know who I'm going to raid. So please make sure to stick around, and then we will do that. Thematically relevant, but I just rated him last night, so I think I'm going to give that a miss. So I want to thank everyone for being awesome today. Thank you to my wonderful mods and viewers. I will be back on Tuesday with the Gamebook illustration stream. We'll be finishing up Mines of Moria, and you get a chance to decide what the person does as they walk through that environment. And it is all being illustrated live by Terry Toons. So if you want to see more of her amazing work, you should check us out then. That's noon Eastern on Tuesday. And then I'll be over on GOG for my Pen and Pixel show at 4 p.m. doing what I think will be The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, I believe. So yeah, that's what we've got going on. And then we've got more role-playing stuff to come, and you will not want to miss it because we've got space opera, we've got Gothic horror. We have got regular so-called straight-up D&D Storm King's Thunder that I play on GOG. And, of course, we've got my Adventures of Middle-earth Tolkien campaign. So we got a lot of stuff. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, I can see the connection for sure, Rock God, for sure. Okay. But that is going to do it for me, folks. I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Rudinell, Coven Guy, Dragonspear, Rock God, Shadowed Mage, and Shatter Mage. Thank you all so much. The best mods in the business, as I've said many times. Thank you to my wonderful subscribers, Rudinell, Coven Guy, Dragonspear, Rock God, Shadowed Mage. Thank you to Echo Alpha X5, Arenth, Jasper Kazai, JTW, Lone Wolf 67, Mrs. Dunsel, Radio Johnny Panda, and Red Lear. And special thanks to Red Lear for being Mr. Santa Claus in, April. God knows we could use him right about now. So thank you, Red Lear, for the generosity for all the gift subs. And you should follow Red Lear if you haven't already. Also really good streamer. Thank you to Angel Tiernan, Ali Elliott, Aiton, Buzz, Commander Root. Thank you to Electrical Longboard, Ice Shield. Thank you to Hootie, Lord Gosumba. Thank you to Low, Lurks, Marworks, Mubot, I guess. Thank you to Optic Nerve. Thank you to Othello. Thank you to PKD Fan. Thank you to Porquito Show. What's up, Porquitos? Thank you to Rimastino. Thank you to Rajar. Thank you to Satolbo. What's up, Satolbo? And Sat, you have been, hopefully we'll talk soon. Some emails going your way, sir. Good to see you, man. That actually emails that already have been sent to you already from Chris, etc. So hope all's well, dude. Thank you to Trisha Metz. Thank you to good stuff, man. I know. And I hope you're staying safe, man. It's good to not hear from you, but see your name popping up on chat. Good to see you, man. Thank you to Trisha Metz, you Christensen, V&K, Varney, Video Store Cowboy, and Virgo Pros. For those of you who are new, please consider following and supporting the channel in all those many ways. Thank you as well to the raiders today. We had a couple of raids. We had one from Admiral Kirk. We had one, I think, from GC. Oh, wait a second. I'm going to find out what it is. I want to make sure I know exactly who raided. I'm going to look at my activity feed. Yes, Celestian GC. Thank you to Celestian GC. Thank you to Gray Dybbuk for the host as well. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that very much, and you're all wonderful people. And I will see you folks on Tuesday. Until then, everyone, as always, be good to each other and wash your hands, socially distance, physically distance, socially connect, but physically distance, and hang in there. We will get through this together, and Operencia, the Stolen Sun complete. Detroit become human in progress, and more to come soon. Thanks, everyone. Much love. Be good to each other.